All right. And we're live.
We're live again. Okay, we got it. It's
4.2.
Good, it's working.
Episode 4.2.
4.2.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
Start with Would You Rather?
Okay.
Classic.
Would you rather?
So would you rather have an infinite amount of money or be the fifth best in the world at anything of your choosing? Now act like you've heard this question for the first time.
Yeah, so this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. No time to think about this.
No.
Okay, so, yeah, actually, I'd probably take an infinite amount of money.
The infinite amount of money?
Yeah.
Why?
Because then I can just go and learn whatever I want and try to be fifth best at something, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This was not too hard, I don't think.
Yeah, I think infinite amount of money.
What
I think
about
if you
first
put a
best?
cap on the money, though, it might have been interesting.
Huh.
Like if the cap was, say...
Because I always want to know for Would You Rathers, where's like the... Because I'm just making them up.
Yeah,
but I always
yeah.
want to know like where's the crossover point?
I think
You
there
know
had
what I
to
mean?
be
Like,
a cap on the
where's-
money. I think the cap
What's
on
the
the
cap?
money...
Okay,
So for me,
So,
how much money would it
well,
be?
let me ask this first.
Okay.
Is there a point where first best beats infinite amount of money, or is it always
Okay.
infinite amount of money? Like if you're the best in the world of all time ever, greatest
That's something.
at something, does it now beat infinite amount of money?
No.
No,
No.
I didn't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think there have to be...
You know why I think it doesn't though? Because nobody wants to just be given that. It doesn't mean anything if you're just given it,
Yeah.
right? You want to still work for it, but you just want
Right.
to get the resources to work for it.
Yeah, and if I had the infinite amount of money, I could find something that I'm the best at. I could make something up
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm the best at.
Yeah, like having the most money.
Yeah, exactly. Let's use the best at having infinite amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point do you switch though? What dollar
Like the
value?
amount of money?
Yeah.
Like 500 million?
500
Half a
million.
billion?
Really?
Yeah.
Because if you
'Cause
get
then-
like I think like $10 million, you can probably live off that till you're the best in the world at something.
Because I think LeBron James is worth half a billion.
Yeah, but he don't need that much.
No, I guess he doesn't need that
No.
much. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, that's true. Actually, that'd be a good point. So how much money do I need?
It's
to
basically
be,
that, right?
where I wouldn't notice.
Because that's really all
the
you're doing
amount.
in life. I don't get the people who like think about, well, how much money do I need to retire? And it's like, that's what your goal in life is? To do nothing?
Yeah.
That's your goal?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to retire and just do nothing?
I just want to be able to do what I
I
want
want to do something.
Yeah,
I want to have enough
do
money to do something.
Yeah, that's true.
Not do nothing.
Yeah, what does it mean to
I always
retire?
find it weird because it's
Do
like
nothing.
I was watching a show called Succession.
Oh yeah, I saw you talk
Amazing.
about it. You like it?
Yeah, so it's about this media mogul. Are we sharing the water?
Yeah, I only had one cup.
It's about this media mogul who he's like getting pretty up there in age,
Okay. Yeah.
and he's trying to decide who does he give his fortune to, which of his kids, right?
How many kids does he have?
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
One's a non-factor,
Okay.
but the one who's a non-factor is making fun of this guy who's going to get $5 million, and he's like, $5 million, because they're just like, it shows how ridiculously rich they are.
Right.
He's like, $5 million, you're the weakest strongman at a circus, or like he's always analogies, so it
Right.
means nothing. $5 million,
Yeah.
you're the
Doesn't mean
poorest
that.
rich man
Doesn't
there
mean
is.
shit.
Yeah, but then I was reading the Reddit comments for the episode.
Right.
There are people arguing that $5 million is not a lot, and they're like, "There's not enough money to retire on." It's like you want to retire. That's your goal for a lot. Is you
Right.
have to retire so you can do nothing.
Right.
Like you just need time. I just need the money to give me more time to do what I love.
Right.
That's all I want.
Right.
And 10 years, I think I could. Whatever. Give me a task. 10 years to do it now.
Yeah.
5 million you can live off. I would hope
Yep.
you'd be able to live off.
Right
5
now, at
million
least
for
I
10
could,
years.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like 5 mil would allow me to do whatever I want,
Yeah.
where I can make more money doing.
I mean,
whatever
even
I
like
want.
honestly, like $100,000.
Honestly,
Whatever you want to
God,
give
if
me.
somebody gave me like,
What do you want to give me?
honestly, God, how much money could somebody give you right now that would change your life?
Probably like 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that would actually like if I got $30,000 right now, it would drastically change like the direction I go in life right now.
Right.
Yeah. Like what would be the minimum? Probably 30 grand? Like a year worth?
No, because I think the direction I'm going, my plan,
Yeah.
it's not going to change that. It's just going to be make it easier, you know?
But it'll change it a little bit, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you were to
it'll
get
change it a
30
little
grand
bit.
right now, you
Yeah.
quit. You quit your gig.
Yeah. I don't know if I would, but I mean, it'd make it, like I said, easier
Yeah,
to
fair enough.
eventually write for a living.
How much would you take right now to quit? Right, like this moment, where you're just like, okay, I'll walk away right now.
100 grand?
100,000. That's
Yeah.
the number. Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be it. That'd be the one that drastically changed your life.
Yeah. But it wouldn't drastically because it's like
I guess you'd still be doing the same thing.
It'd speed it up.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It's
Where it
the
just
same
kind of
goal.
like changes a few tweaks where you're like, now I get to
there's
start
nothing
what I
changing
want to do.
because it's like the goal of what I'm going to do is, which is writing for a
Right.
living,
Yeah.
will always happen.
Right.
It's just how quickly do I get there?
Right.
I mean, if you just get a large sum of money, then you can just do it. Now
Yeah.
you're there. You're
Yeah.
there. You're
That's what
right,
I mean,
You
I
write for a
guess,
living.
Yeah,
Even though you don't need the money, that's what you do.
But
right?
yeah, I guess you personally, you're already on that. For a lot of people, a lot of people are doing what they want.
Yeah, it's interesting
Yeah.
because a lot of people are just like, walking around like zombies, be like, what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah. They just go to job.
Yeah, and then they die. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Just, what do I want to do with my life? And then my life's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. There's always those people that are always going back to school for something.
Yeah.
Like 4
like-
years
but, like,
old.
not
I'm
for
just going to
anything.
CDI and
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna.
just not going for anything specific. They're just
Yeah.
going like,
Yeah, I'm
I'll
just
try
like,
this.
I'm gonna like. No, I've really been looking into.
Yeah, helicopters. I'm gonna be a helicopter pilot.
Yeah, it's really
For a
it's a
year
big
and a
market
half.
right now.
Yeah, great market, great helicopter market.
Yeah, benefits
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah. I was thinking about these would you rather's because we were doing like such sexual based ones
Yeah.
3 times in a row, I think. What was the first one?
No, the first one wasn't. The first one was a cowboy hat or two left
that's,
shoes.
see, that's a good one. I like those.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
more
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Sexual ones are more shocking, but not necessarily more interesting.
I think my favorite one was the second one.
What's the second one?
Suck 10 dicks or watch my parents suck one. That was
Each.
probably the most interesting one because
Yeah.
I really actually had to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, the first one I didn't have to think about.
Well,
As soon as you said cowboy hat, I was like,
then
two
you're
left
like,
shoes.
no cowboy hat.
I'm not wearing a cowboy hat forever.
No.
No,
You're
fuck
right.
that.
You know what I was thinking about after our last podcast?
Yeah.
So I was trying to go to bed, and I'm like, after?
Yeah.
And I was like stressed about, like what are people gonna? It's a weird thing because I don't know if has this happened to you, where you're stressing like, people are gonna see it, and like we're gonna get canceled, like
Yeah,
that kind of
dude,
idea.
I
It
thought
freaks
about
you
that.
out, right?
When we were talking about the religion thing, that's
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
what my thought was. I'm like, what are people going to take this as?
Like you mean the Muslim?
Yeah.
Islam? Yeah.
Yeah, specifically that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I can talk about Christians all I want. But
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because it just freaks you out, but you don't really remember how it came off.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was stressed out about the whole thing.
Really?
Like,
What
almost
specifically were you stressed out about?
Not really anything specifically, but like because you're just unsure. Like you touched on some hot topics,
Yeah.
right? And then you're like, and then I'm trying to think of like what is that? Like why is that freaking me out so much?
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is silly. It's an ego. Like
Right.
you're gonna blow up. People are gonna
Right,
watch it,
right,
which is
right.
a stupid thing. Nobody watches their show,
Nah, nobody watches it.
right? Or at least nobody watches it yet.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a weird catch-22
Right.
that if a lot of people are watching it, then you get canceled. Well, a lot of people are watching it. What are you worrying about?
Yeah, exactly. And because we
Nobody's
can't get
watching it?
canceled.
You can't get canceled if nobody's watching it or nobody
yeah.
cares about you.
Yeah.
So it's
you
a
can't
weird-
get canceled either way.
Yeah, so it's like, you're too popular now.
Yeah.
Well, then someone finds you get canceled.
Right.
Well, you're popular.
Yeah.
So why does it matter?
Yeah, so for me, the thing I was thinking about a lot was like, are people not gonna like want to come work out with me now? Like if somebody heard that and they were
Right.
just like,
But that's the ego thing too. Like, who's gonna watch it, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's just like you have to get really big
yeah,
for people to actually have that kind of effect.
Yeah.
But if you're really big, the effect doesn't matter because you're really big.
yeah. But it was
So-
mostly about how it came off because I'm like,
Right.
I don't want people to think something that I'm not saying, and
Right. That's
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
'Cause I
And
was
also,
trying to play devil's
we're
advocate a
and
lot.
We're also idiots.
we're
And a lot
and
of- we're
listen,
gonna-
everything
we're
we
gonna-
say, we're stupid. So
Well, we're
don't
gonna
take it
talk about a
personally.
lot of things that we don't really know or get
Yeah.
or like fully or
Yeah.
educated on,
This
or
is
we're
totally
ignorant
stupid
of.
bad
We're
opinion.
just making opinions up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a weird thing but I think a lot of it is an ego thing, right?
Right.
Where
Oh,
you're,
it's
where
all
you're
an ego.
worried you're gonna get too famous and blow up and get canceled. But it's
Yeah.
like a weird why is that a worry?
Yeah.
Just put your opinions out there and don't worry about it.
The only reason it's a worry is if we do blow up and 10 years from now, people are going to dig up our old podcast and be like, look at those fucking bigots.
Yeah.
And try to cancel us 10 years from now.
Yeah, but that's...
Because that's what
like, I thought about that. I thought about it too. Right? And that's not... Shouldn't be a real worry because...
No.
Because you should be, like, earnest in what you're saying.
Right.
Right? And, like, you're just trying to figure stuff out. You're just trying to think of ideas. You're just trying to, like hammer, get through some thought process.
I know what my intention is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 100%. I just want people to understand that. I just want people to understand this is just trains of thoughts. Yeah.
And so with that idea that, okay, so we're going to pull it up.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm just thinking out loud. Like, I'm not... And my thoughts are not nefarious or evil.
No.
So if it's taken on context, that's probably going to happen no matter what. That's just life. So if
Especially
people want
now.
to do that, they're going to find something.
Always.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's, again, not a big worry. That shouldn't be a big worry because it's just... You put so much stuff out there, and you have to, in this day and age, to do anything. You got to be putting stuff out there.
Yeah, you got to put yourself out there, and I always want us to be genuine. This podcast has to be just us thinking out loud.
So there's no way you should really worry about that either. No. Again, I've thought about these all. So the third thing is, well, we live in like this Orwellian society where you can't say certain things, and like there's very off-limit topics, or if you do, you're gonna get in trouble, and like it's kind of like the thought police are gonna get you. They're gonna cancel you. And it's like again, this one's like, okay, that's scary, but that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So that should also be ignored.
At least right now, it's bullshit. I could see certain dials getting turned where it's a little scary. Like just imagine where we are right now.
Yeah.
Like in Russia, that's a real thing.
What is this thought police?
Yeah. Like if you said something like, what hasn't Putin already been accused of like killing people who like go up against him and stuff like that? So, I mean, there are areas in the world right now and societies where like that's a thing. Yeah. So I mean, there are dials that could be turned where that could be a thing.
Yeah, there are, but like they're kind of already turned a little bit here, right?
Yeah, like we could definitely. What I think the worst thing that could happen to us is us thinking out loud. Yeah. Is that we don't get the chance to be big because people already like pushed us down.
Right. Yeah. So I think if you're just being earnest and like
genuine,
just genuine, and you're just talking about just like you're trying to get through ideas, you're trying to think of ideas, you're not committed to what you're saying.
Not at all.
And I think if people understand that person, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a good thing to get over this worry.
Yeah.
I think that's what a conclusion I came to because I'm stressed.
And it's funny. I knew something was wrong that day. I messaged you. I said something seems up with you right after the podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking I was overthinking everything.
But I had the same thoughts.
But it's funny because I listened to it. Yeah. We recorded on Tuesday and I listened to it Thursday. Yeah. I was like, there's nothing in here. Yeah. Like it's like a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. No.
So I was like,
as long as people understand. It's just us thinking out loud. Yeah. We're just thinking out loud. Most of these opinions, I will change my mind as soon as like a better idea that enters my head.
I'm not married to anything. This is just like out loud, like thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. We're both just like, I want progression. I want everybody to like get all the same freedoms as everybody else. So I'm just talking out loud about how to get there.
It's interesting though because I noticed this thing. So when I first started writing, writing seriously. Yeah. 5 years ago, I started posting my poetry on Instagram. Right. That's kind of like the first kind of like putting myself out there. Yeah. It's very difficult. Yeah. Very difficult, but it's a necessary thing, but it's very stressful. Right. And I feel like that's kind of like a thing I'm going through now. It's difficult and stressful to put your opinions out there and like thoughts out there. Yeah. And content out there. But it's a necessary thing to do. You kind of got to get over that hill.
It's true.
And so I've been thinking about a lot this for the last 8 days, which is just like, this is a thing that you just got to get through, or it's a good thing that's good for you. Yeah. To just put yourself out there. Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
I agree. I think, because like I said, we're worrying about a small minority of people that would actually go to the lengths to like try to get us in trouble. Most people might be like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah. But most people are just a far-fetched thing because that's what I'm saying. It's like, if that scenario happens where there's a small group of people, you have to have a large group of people because the percentage of people who do that is very small. Yeah, exactly. So you already have to have a large viewership.
Most people are just gonna have different opinions, but I think we come off as genuine.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, like I would think so. But I was stressed a little bit. I hear you. I was a little bit like, what do I put on Instagram? Yeah. We're like, because I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But I'm already like, I've got something like established, and I've got people that I work with.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to fuck up that brand.
Right.
Not fuck it up, but like, I think within the community, people already kind of know that like.
But you're homophobic.
Not at all.
Just kidding.
But like, you know, just like, I just want to be a guy who like thinks.
Yeah.
And thinking out loud, I think is really good, and that's why when I first had the idea to start a podcast
during the week too.
Remember when I was going to start my like Thai Hub podcast? It was just by myself.
Yeah.
The reason I want to do that is because I wanted to be able to think out loud.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be interesting to put it out. I just couldn't do it. It's hard.
Yeah.
So I'm glad like we figured something out.
I think it's impossible to do a podcast by yourself if you're
like
not
you're
already
nobody.
famous.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I just wanted to start, and I couldn't find somebody to do it with.
Yeah.
I
find the process interesting of like throughout the week thinking of things and then like considering.
You're good at finding topics, so holy shit.
Well, because it's what I do normally is just think about ideas, and then like I like the process of thinking about things to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that makes me like consider myself or like look inwardly and like what are things that I find interesting. So this is like a topic where like just stress.
Yeah.
That's an interesting topic. Like why am I stressed so much about this stupid thing?
Yeah.
Because it is stupid worrying that you're gonna get canceled in trouble, but nobody watches your podcast. It's a weird thing to be stressed about.
It's a weird thing to be stressed about. Yeah.
Because you're like, that's not a worry you have yet.
No.
Why is this worrying you? I don't know. So I like the process of thinking inwardly and like what's bothering me or what are topics that interest me right now or what am I thinking about or what's on my mind. Yeah. And it kind of lets you work through them.
And that's it. And honestly, that's the only way to like the only way for my opinions to get better.
Yeah.
Is I have to be able to voice what they are now.
Yeah.
And so I can hear a better one.
Yeah.
Like if I don't talk about something, I'm never gonna get a better opinion or learn more shit, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like all these opinions are ground zero.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't been stomped over yet. They haven't been thought about.
No, not at all. So I mean, like that's the thing.
It's also an interesting thing because it's like our rapid like I don't know. Are you worried it's unplugged?
Oh no! I was just looking at the mic being screwed in. Yeah. No, I know it's not unplugged.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, it's loose.
Yeah. That's fine. It's not that loose.
Okay. Well, no, you know what it is? It's also we focus a lot on that left side that's bad for you. So I noticed this thing. So like maybe 3-4 years ago, it started happening where this middle ground or the right or it just started, and even the left, like someone like Sam Harris or someone who is generally left, they started focusing on the left, like rapidly focusing on all the bad things the left's doing, like the cancel culture and all this stuff.
Right.
And then I think in some ways it's bad for you to do that.
Right.
It's stressful. Right. And it's kind of like cannibalizing yourself, and you're just kind of like so worried about. I don't know, because I stopped focusing on. I stopped listening to podcasts that were just like let's eat terrible or
Dave Rubin's podcast.
Yeah, it's just like I just stopped doing that, and I felt like my life got a little bit better.
Oh no, I agree. Like in principle, like it's old now.
Yeah.
Like we know.
Yeah.
But I do get why it came out and why it was a thing, because it was like. Especially for people like, say, Sam Harris, who has interesting thoughts and talks about controversial things.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if we were a big thing and we did talk about stuff like that, but we couldn't because we'd get in trouble. Like that whole thing started, and that's a very illiberal idea.
Right, and that's what I was saying about the worry for we live in this Orwellian society that's going to cancel you. Well, in some ways, you want to rebel against that. So you want to say stuff that's a little bit on the line too.
Right.
Because you want to actively not give in to that dogma.
And that's what I don't like about, say, Dave Rubin's show now.
Yeah.
Because his show just turned into now
dogma on the
anti-left.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not even anti-life. Now it's just pretty much right dogma, which includes anti-life.
Right. But that's what his show just became. He came out and he was like, I'm leaving the Turks because I don't like this dishonesty, and I don't like this what's going on with the left.
Yeah.
And it was very irony. Interesting. And then all of a sudden it just shifted where it's just like, the reason you're a person now is because you're anti-left. Yeah. You're not even interesting anymore.
Yeah, I remember Dave Rubin arguing that there should be no bylaws or rules for construction companies. They should just figure out themselves.
That. Like he was on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's the dumbest thing. And Joe's dude, I work in construction. Trust me,
yeah.
you need 'em.
You need that.
Yeah.
And
These
he
guys
just
are
kept
idiots.
saying the market would fix it. The market would fix it. Yeah, it's like, no.
No. The market
you
doesn't
need
fix
that.
everything.
You can't fix everything. Yeah.
No. There's things that so like that's why so like health is a good example. The market won't fix it. The market will fuck you.
Right.
Because things where money's not the goal.
Right.
The market doesn't work.
Right.
Because the goal in healthcare is health, not money.
Right.
So
but unfortunately, there's a cost to everything. So money's like involved.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you have to structure
you gotta
the money
find
with
it.
a governing body
right.
that can decide how to spend the money.
Right.
Not just people who are trying to make money.
Right. Right.
The
gain of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like in the U.S., you have this whole little body that just steals all the money.
Right.
The insurance companies.
Right.
They're there to steal your money.
Right.
You just delete them. And
yeah.
everything is a little cheaper.
Right.
That's all you need.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. It's not a good system that they got going on over there.
No.
Yeah. It should be the focus should be the well-being.
Yeah.
Not how do we make money.
What would you be doing in 5 years, 10 years? Back to the.
What would I be doing?
Yeah. So like, cause you didn't say. So I said what I would do if I had.
Oh, if I had the money?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about? The 100,000?
Whatever the life-changing money is.
Yeah, I would be. Well, I'd be doing the same thing. It's just I guess I would be able to if I had. What I would want money for is so that all the stress that comes with money is taken care of.
Right.
So I can do things like because I still want to build, our free fitness.
Yeah. Frey
company.
Fitness.
Huh?
Frey Fitness.
Frey Fitness. Yeah.
Rebrand.
But I want to still build that.
Yeah.
And now I can focus more on. I don't have to worry about making money. I can just focus on brand building.
Right.
Right. Doing a podcast.
Right.
Getting out there in the community because we do a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I want time back.
Yeah.
And having money gives me time back to do things that I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I want time.
Money is.
Yeah.
It's time.
That's what I want. I want time. People focus on a number. I will take what minimal number I need to get time. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I don't care about
that's all it is. Is you need more time.
I just want time.
Because you'd have to waste time on getting money.
Yeah, exactly. You're wasting. That's what a lot of people do. They're stuck in this rat race, just trying to make money.
Yeah, people who have jobs where they just do the job.
Right.
They don't have time for anything else.
They're trading hours for money.
But it seems like you have no time to even spend that money, and it's like, what is going on there?
So that's the big thing that changed for me was, like, I still technically trade time for money. Yeah. But like we're building something. But eventually the goal is I want to trade services for money. Right. Right. Well, like where you're writing. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're gonna put time in. Yeah. You have something to offer people that you're not trading time anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Right. What would you do there? Would it be classes? Online classes? Yep. Because you're talking about something that scales. You're giving away something that you don't have to put more time in. You just have to create, and then it can scale. Or even like I like doing talks and stuff like that. Like even stuff like that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Where like I'm trading I guess a certain amount of time. What kind of talks do you do? I'm gonna do it. Oh, what do I do right now? Yeah. Or are you gonna talk about my future TED Talk? No, right now. We can get into future. No, just right now. We get out. We like. Have you done talks? We do. We visit companies. Sometimes we get invited by companies to talk about, we've had a lot of offices contact us and talk about like posture and things they can work on. To a lot of people get like typical things, lower back pain, knee pain, stuff like that people typically get in offices. We got invited for that. I get wrist pain. Wrist pain. Yeah, there you go. So stuff like that. Acupuncture changed my life for wrist pain. Acupuncture? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not usually into the woo. Yeah, the woo. But I saw a New York Times article that actually said there's proven benefits for acupuncture on wrists, knees, and ankles. Do you know that? I didn't know that. I've never done acupuncture. I don't know. I haven't looked much into it, so I can't give it. So I have a theory why it works. It always seems like woo to me. So I think it's interesting because it made me reconsider some Chinese medicine, and you're thinking about you don't want to say okay, that's why the Chinese medicine works, because that's the wooey part, right? Like it's not energy signals in your body, right? Right. So for acupuncture, my
this is completely armchair, so this is a little wooey too, because I just make it up.
Right.
But it's based off biology. But I'm thinking it's like this really non-invasive, like it doesn't damage you.
Right.
Cut or like puncture. Mm-hmm. So what it does is it signals white blood cells to come to the area. Right. And they clean out the area.
Right.
Or do a little
cleanup. Possibly.
Control. That's my thought, but I don't know why that would only work in those areas.
I haven't looked much into acupuncture, so.
But it's like I will have
shout out acupuncture.
Shout out acupuncture.
Yeah.
But it's like I will have pain, and then I'll get like my wrist, and then I'll get acupuncture.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
Right.
And it usually lasts for 4 to 5 months. Then I'll do it again.
Now, so this would be my concern about it, and I view a lot of stuff in this field the same way. A lot of it, I view it as like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like it's like a Band-Aid for you. Mm-hmm. Like, why is your wrist keep getting hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it always in pain?
I think it's
your wrist shouldn't be in pain.
Yeah, I think it's a rampant computer use. And that can't change.
Sure, that might not change, but there are definitely people who probably do a lot of computer work who don't have wrist pain.
Right.
Right? So there's some kind of dysfunction going on that keeps causing you to go back to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, it's possible that it's a Band-Aid thing.
Yeah.
It fixes it. Or it could be something like positive thinking. Mm-hmm. You think it's going to work, and maybe you're not noticing it anymore.
Well, I mean, it was shown on actual, so I wouldn't say it's placebo, because it's only shown in studies to work.
Right.
And the way science works is have to be placebo. So,
sure.
To be shown to work, but
I haven't looked into it, so I don't
know. I was very surprised, because generally I would not. It was funny, because I once got it on my shin for my knee.
Right.
But he did it all the way to my ankle.
Right.
And I was asking him about it, and this is, I think, maybe before I knew there was some scientific basis.
Right.
So, but I asked him because he was a physiotherapist, so I was like, he should be science. Why is he doing acupuncture?
Right.
And he's like, well, there's actually some basis for it for your knee and for your ankle, and I just do these ones because I'm there. Why not throw a couple extra in?
Yeah, maybe the reason it made me think that is just because I know people who swear by it.
Yeah.
I know people who said it didn't do anything.
Yeah. Probably depends on what the ailment is.
For sure.
I mean,
for sure. Yeah.
It's not a catch-all. Just you got pain in your wrist, throw some needles in it.
Yeah, see if it works.
Fix it. Yeah.
I mean, so that's what makes me skeptical. So like that's what makes me skeptical about it is that they don't even know what the ailment would have to be.
Right.
They're just like, we'll put it in, see if it works.
Yeah, I think the ailment that I saw was what's it called?
But wouldn't they know though? Like
for the study. I mean.
Oh, for the study.
For the study, it was what's the major?
I'm not sure.
Like that you get when you're on a computer. What's the major?
I'm not sure.
Wrist injury.
Like you're not talking about like carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay,
yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, that's what the study was. Carpal tunnel for wrist.
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't sound like you buy it.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that. I'd have to look into it. I'm not sure if I buy it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably skimmed the New York Times article.
Yeah. I don't know.
But,
I mean, we're probably going to get some acupuncturists who are going to try to cancel us now, but I'm sure. But
I've wanted to ask you these questions for a while. So
what?
About sports medicine.
Oh, yeah.
To see how much you know.
Oh,
but
well,
it's not really because I don't know anything.
Put me on the spot.
It's on the spot. But
that's not good.
What supplements do you take, or would you take, or should you take?
Okay, so that's like a real like tough question that I gotta be on. Yeah, like what I personally take is I take fish oil.
Okay.
I'll take D.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my doctor told me if you live in Canada, you should be taking vitamin D every winter, but you should get tested.
I've heard other.
You should get tested. You shouldn't just take it because it's actually really hard on your liver.
Yeah,
don't just take it.
Right.
Get tested.
Like there are blood tests you can get done that will tell you things that
very easy. They'll tell you everything you're.
Yeah, they'll tell you everything that you're missing. Yeah. So that's probably the best way to figure out what you should take.
Yeah, that's it.
Because we're all different. We all eat differently.
And you hear so many different competing things about supplements.
Nutrition in general is one of the most annoying sciences out there.
Yeah,
that people have so many opinions on. That
I think
most of it's
the reason is right is because it's people are so variable. Like you can't have a real study because you have to eat.
Right.
So you can't just lock people in a room for 10 years and make them eat the exact same thing and do the exact same thing. There's going to be all these other things that they do that's going to affect their body chemistry and their body makeup and then, exercise,
so much.
smoking,
it's
drugs.
where you are. It's literally a lot of it is just literally your genetics.
Yeah.
Is what's going to make a huge difference too. There are people who can live a shit lifestyle.
Yeah.
And not even eat well, who live longer than me.
So that's why it's really hard to make any sweeping judgments.
Exactly.
But you have to. But you also
have to. Yeah,
so you have to take these big, huge studies that just survey people. That's pretty much the only way you can do it.
When I have clients and I'm giving recommendations for diet, I never recommend like a specific diet, like veganism and keto and like anything like that. Yeah. The one thing that all these things have in common, they calorie restrict
their food.
They calorie restrict.
I'm on my way to being
so it's about not overeating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And keep refined sugars down. Right. Simple. Like that's what we know for sure.
Yeah.
Everything else is like.
Yeah,
really dependent
calorie
on the
restriction
person.
Seems to be across the board.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you fast?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, daily, like intermittent.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll go through cycles where I'll do a 24 or 48.
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know.
Yeah, I've done
some interesting studies about it.
172.
Yeah, 72.
I didn't like it. I felt shitty. I think because I have so much coffee.
Yeah. And so, did you drink a lot of coffee during it?
No, I drink none.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I got a really bad headache. So it's like I just want to go away and then. Yeah. And then I thought it was gonna be so delicious. The first food, it wasn't even that good. I don't know.
Did you find when I did mine, the first 48 was rough.
Yeah.
The next 24 was easy.
Yeah.
Like I could have probably did another round. That first 48 was brutal.
Yeah, I didn't make a full 72.
Yeah.
But I think I stopped around like lunch and then ate around breakfast.
Right.
The next day.
Yeah. No, I find it
the last day.
I do recommend like some kind of intermittent fasting for people, like for some of the new studies that are pretty interesting, and it's an easy way to restrict your calories.
Yeah.
The constant putting food in your mouth, it's hard to actually relegate how much you're putting in and what you're putting in. So that's an easy way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be that they've, especially for longevity, like increasing your lifespan.
Yeah.
That just restricting your calories seems to be like the number one thing to do.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Now the fasting thing is interesting. So like I've read like a few studies about fasting, and I haven't read one that said it actually increases like longevity. Yeah,
no,
like
really?
No.
That's because I've done a lot of research on longevity studies, and that seems to be the number one agreed across the board.
No,
is that
not the way I read it? The way I read it was that it'll help increase longevity if you have an ailment, right? So if you're overweight, it'll help you live longer by bringing you down. Right. But if you're already a pretty active, you're in pretty good shape, the markers for longevity are like genetic usually.
Right.
So I mean, like when I say it doesn't increase longevity, it depends. Like if you're in a bad spot and you start fasting, it actually will help recuperate your body, right? That's how I read it.
Well, from what I know, so for example, just a simple one for longevity, cancer.
Yeah. Right.
So it recycles your cells.
Right.
What's it called? Cell pathogen. Yeah, there's a word for it. Like where your cells, it kills off bad cells.
Okay.
Ones.
Right.
Right. And it's kind of killing off those ones that have a high possibility of turning into cancer cells.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's just a very simple one that would increase your lifespan.
Right. Yeah.
You would have a less of a chance of getting cancer and dying.
That's what I mean. So what I guess I'll clarify what I mean is that if you're a healthy person, it's not increasing that. What it's doing is it could it could take away things that could hurt you.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing you're trying
to do. And if you have an issue, right? So if you're like obese, right? It'll increase your longevity by getting you healthier.
Right. So I mean longevity includes things that can naturally kill you. It
right.
Sure does.
Yeah. What
so
I'm
when
saying
you
is
think of longevity as an overall looking at it, because you never look at a specific person like are you healthy or not healthy. You look at a group, and then you want to also. So there's a lot of factors you want to consider with longevity. Right. But one of the things is how do you limit the diseases from killing you? Sure. And if you're going to talk specifically like cancer, that's fine. Yeah. One of the studies I read is that they took
I can't remember what their markers was for health.
Yeah.
But they took people that were
there's like
fairly
genetic
same health.
markers.
Right.
I think it started in T. I can't remember what they're called.
There was no difference between the people who fasted and the people who didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I will say about that though, doesn't that genetic marker tell you about how old you're gonna live to? Right.
I never read. I read that the only thing I've ever read about that is that they're. What's that?
Telomeres. What they're called?
Yeah.
Telomeres. Yeah.
The only thing I've ever read about like how long you're gonna live is that the people who live the longest has nothing to do with their diet. Mm-hmm. They have specific genetic markers.
Right. Yeah.
So
there's people who just will smoke and drink all day and whatever.
Yeah, and they'll live. They'll live forever.
Yeah,
so
those are just unique people. So you're not really even worried about those unique people.
No, but they all have a. Yeah. You're not worried about that.
You're not worried about that.
For sure.
So that's just like
because you're most likely not that person.
Take the people who are going to die when they're 4.
Right.
And take the people out who are going to live to 150. Now you want to study those people.
Sure.
Right. But you're looking how to grow the average person.
Yeah, 100%. It's just a regular person. So one of our issues right now is obesity.
Yeah.
How do we limit that?
Right.
Fasting seems to be a really good way to do that.
Yeah.
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 And like you said,
like a very obvious
killing
like
the cancer cells.
You're doing less things.
Right.
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 And so what I also read was humans they should be in a hungry state.
Right.
It's pretty much like every health thing seems to me to be that you should be a little bit stressed, but controlled stress.
Yeah.
Like you should be doing these things that stress you out.
Right. Well, okay. Think of it like this way.
But not actual stress.
No,
Not like you shouldn't be.
No. It's a positive
job.
stressor. Yeah. You're looking for positive stress. So positive stressors like exercise.
Yeah.
That's stress on your body. That's a positive stressor.
So
think of it like this way. So think of where we came from, like our ancestors, right? So what did they have in common? So one is their like sleep cycles.
Yeah.
Because they were just very big on like sun goes up, we're up, sun goes down. Right. Because you have no choice. Right. So that's why we're in like a cycle for that. Okay. 2, they were moving all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time they're moving. Right. Okay. So technically exercising all the time. Positive stressor for them that came down to us. Right. Right. 3 is food was a hard thing to come by for them. Right. They were fasted all the time. That was a positive stressor that they went through. Right. That's come down genetically on us. So it's a positive stressor for us. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 meal a day.
100%. Yeah.
People.
Yeah. Shout out to
OMAD.
Snake Diet, who's probably going to get in trouble for mentioning that guy. I don't know if you looked
Sponsored by Snake Diet.
We're going to get in trouble if we mention that guy.
Oh, yeah. He has some nefarious
thoughts, he's very interesting. Yeah.
No, we're not sponsored by Snake Diet. Snake Oil, I don't even know who he is.
I know him.
Snake something.
No, he was actually one of the founders of Free Fit. I don't know if I should say that.
Is he?
Yeah.
What? The concept. Conceptually.
No, he was like...
Or
of the actual company.
He's from Edmonton?
He's from Edmonton, yeah.
Oh, really?
He's still in Edmonton.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh, we're going to get him on the podcast.
Oh,
yeah. He's come on the podcast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, my stressors are up.
I just saw him like a few weeks ago. Yeah. No, that'll be a big one. We could probably get in trouble for that one. Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I always go back to like an interesting way to think of it is think of where we came from. Yeah. So that's why exercise is so important.
It makes sense. Right. Why do you think saunas seem to be so good for you, or ice cold showers? Yeah, because it seems, but I guess that's controlled stress again. Yeah, it's putting your body through those stressors. Right. In like you're using a fake environment to do it.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I imagine it is. I always go back to thinking of like, if I'm lost in thought on this stuff, I go back to think of like ancestors, where we come from. That's an easy way to try to think about it. Yeah, we're all connected somehow.
What do we evolve to be?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's why exercise is important. That's why
but that's gonna hit a dead limit, right?
It will.
Like
it will.
Because like clearly your ancestors weren't living to 100 plus.
No, 100%. Yeah. So like it's gonna reach a point, but it's there's definitely things we took. Yeah. Right. So.
Yeah, but then you want to maximize your natural and then have science
and then have science figure out the rest. Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting because you actually don't have to figure out immortality. Right. You just have to figure out how to improve your lifespan. Yeah. That outpaces time. Right. Right. You actually don't have to figure out how to fix it or stop it. You just have to figure out how to outpace it. So right now, I think current science adds 3 months to your life every year. Right. Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But we're still losing 70% of our life every year. Right. So then you just got to figure out how to get that to 1 year. How do you add 1 year to your life every year? Yeah. Right? Until you get the technology enough that you don't even need to do it.
I'm not even worried. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to cremate my body. I want to make sure I freeze my body because if they eventually are going to bring back people back to life, I want to be like around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's my way to live forever. I'm going to freeze my body.
Yeah, billions.
They'll eventually be able to bring people back up from the dead, right?
But I think
it's interesting though. Like
I think in like 80 years, like the science is going to be so crazy. It's a good quote. It's a science fiction writer who's like, at some point, science just seems like magic. It's pretty close already.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty close.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, especially for people like 100 years ago, the things that we do now is magical.
Yeah. If you were to recommend 3 foods for a meal, that's all you can ever eat. Like you get 3 different types of food, and you just eat those for the rest of your life. Every meal. What would it be? What would those 3 foods be?
Fish.
I mean, they would have to be like a starch, a fish, and a vegetable, right?
Like a fish.
You think so?
A yam.
Oh, I hate yams.
And
don't you do it to me?
No?
Don't know.
Like an avocado?
An avocado? Oh, you can't eat avocado.
You don't like avocado?
I think a potato. Is a potato bad?
No, but like, what do you mean by bad?
Fish would
right?
have,
like, what do you mean by bad? Like fucking,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but a fish would have too much like mercury or something like that, right? You couldn't eat every meal.
Yeah, but if you're, no.
Chicken?
But then I'm sure somebody could find something that says you shouldn't eat chicken every day.
Yeah, but I know for sure people say very often you can't eat fish.
No, you're not supposed to.
No.
Yeah.
So that seems like a clear.
Or red meat.
That's a bad one.
Any red meat.
Red meat. There's already enough carnivore diets and weird shit that. Yeah, but it would be okay to eat red meat. No.
Daily?
Yeah, and not daily. 3 times a day. I think a lot of Americans do it.
Yeah.
Red meat 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for fast food, right?
I think potato because you can change it so many different ways.
I think avocado.
Avocado is just like such a strong flavor. It's like I don't want to.
I love it though.
No,
I mean, me personally,
potato.
I could do it.
I think I have to go potato.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you what.
Yeah. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Your recommendations. No, we're going potato. I was just hoping you'd say potato.
I've been thinking a lot about like.
It's crazy.
Now that we've been talking about like longevity and stuff like that, I've been thinking a lot about like death and like.
Oh, I think about it all the time. It's crazy how much I think about it.
It's weird.
I think my 3rd novel is going to be someone who lives out their whole life and dies. It's just like a whole lifespan. Because I just want to live another lifespan. You know,
yeah, me too. I always think of like, I want to be around when they figure out this. When we go to Mars. I want to be around when they do that.
Yeah, we probably will be. But
you know what I mean? When they're living on Mars.
Yeah, probably not living on Mars. But
I want to be around for that.
Yeah. I think about it all the time. I read books because I read so many books. And I'm always reading about lives and like people dying and all this. I don't know.
But do you ever think about it with like in translation with like time and like the weirdness of what time is?
Yeah, it freaks me out all the time.
And then like what does it mean? Yeah, what does that actually mean? It freaks me out to think like all we are, like all time is literally the expansion of the universe.
I had a friend, shout out Jeff Bowen. He once said to me, he once said to me, time is not a real thing. It's already all happened before. Or already happened, and like everything in the future's already happened. If you don't believe me, just wait 10 months from now.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it's already happened, just wait 10 months. Then it was like it's such a dumb thing, but it's also like because 10 months later it'll have happened, and you're like, oh yeah, it did already happen because it already happened.
Right.
It will inevitably be 10 months from now.
Yeah.
And that will have happened.
Right. So and what does it mean not to be 10 months?
Yeah, because it will be.
Right.
So how is it not already?
Well, I mean, I could probably talk my way out of that one. I'm sure I can talk my way out of that one.
Yeah.
But it is interesting.
Call a podcast Dumb Philosophers.
But it is interesting to think about. Like all time is literally the expansion of the universe.
Yeah, but it's weird.
So
it's
think about it. Like if we had a telescope and we can look back to when the explosion happened, we're literally looking back in time. That's what I mean. Because
say time is here and the time is also here, right? Because time will eventually be there. So it's also it's simultaneously here, but then it'll be there later on. So it also is already there. It doesn't.
Well, I just imagine how I view it is like, okay, so there's this point, right?
So like,
this is the
say
point.
5 seconds from now.
Right.
Time is now, and then time is 5 seconds from now.
Right.
So it's both at the same time while also not being either.
But was it there 5 seconds earlier?
Well, yeah.
But was it?
Inevitably.
How I view it, this is how I get stuck in my head. Okay, so I imagine this was like the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
And then this happened. So this is when time, technically, whatever you want to say, started, right? So time started, and then it started doing this.
This is the episode where we get to none of our topics.
Yeah. And it starts going like this. And so I just imagine what time is literally that expanding.
Yeah.
Right? That's what time is.
Yeah.
So it's expanding, and that's all time is. And so there must be an end point, because what's it expanding to?
No, because you can infinitely have a starting point with no end point. Infinite works that way.
No, yeah, I know, but
It doesn't have to end.
what's it expanding into?
Nothing.
Yeah. So there's no time there, right? Because time is just what the universe is, right?
Yeah. Well, because time has to be measured by distance or like objects, physical objects.
Right.
Without physical objects, there is no time.
Right.
It's space-time.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be space for there to be time.
Right.
So there's a really interesting idea, and this one blew my mind for what the origin of the Big Bang is.
Right.
And it may be hard to explain, but
Right.
have you ever read up the different origins or different explanations for the Big Bang?
Inflation?
There's that's one.
So the one where like there's multiple universes,
Yeah.
and I've heard one where there's multiple universes, and our bang or other bangs is collisions
Right.
of them, and they inflate.
I never heard that one.
Yeah,
I heard the word inflation though, so I think might have.
Maybe and I'm honest to God, I'm probably saying that wrong,
but I might be misunderstood it. But
right.
But so the one I was most convincing. So I watched a documentary about 5 or 6 different explanations for the Big Bang.
Right.
The how did something come from nothing?
Right.
And it's like that's a misunderstanding of the Big Bang. There's never
end of
something
nothing.
from nothing.
Loris Krauss wrote something on this.
Yeah, but there is one that is something from nothing, and it'll explain how something comes from nothing. It's very interesting.
Right.
So it's that entropy. Do you know what entropy is?
It's so funny. I had a client bring up this word to me today, but not really. You go ahead.
So an easy way to look at entropy is a sun. It's a system, and the reason we have heat in the Earth is because of entropy, because that system is leaking energy.
Right.
So it's leaking heat.
Right.
And every system inevitably loses heat.
Right.
There's no perfect system. Every system is entropy, and entropy works with time. Over time, it'll always dissipate. So that's why over time the sun will disappear.
Right.
We will lose the sun due to entropy.
Right.
So at some point, that sun will blow up.
Okay.
And then a new one will form somewhere else.
Right.
But that one will be a little weaker and a little spread out.
Right.
And since the universe expanding into nothing, it'll be inevitably more and more distance, more and more and less things.
Right.
Because things will explode, disappear, reform, explode, disappear, reform. And as the universe gets longer, the things are further apart, and it'll keep doing this until nothing.
Right.
Until everything is so perfectly spread out.
Right.
That there is
no energy to
nothing.
Right.
Yeah. That inevitably it'll run out.
Right.
Every system will split up. Entropy will happen, and it'll run out until everything is so perfectly spread out that it's even.
Right.
Where there's just nothing.
Right.
Spread out perfectly.
Right.
And when there's nothing, you know what that means? There's no space. You know what there's no space means? There's no time. And then there's no time or space. That means there's nothing.
Right.
And then there's nothing. Well, then everything that's so spread out perfectly is simultaneously spread out perfectly, but also in one piece perfectly. Because it's not spread out now, but it also is because there's no space or time.
Right.
So everything in the universe is spread out into nothing.
Right.
And then it's one ball, and then it blows up again, and then the Big Bang happens.
Have you heard Lawrence Krauss talk about nothing? Because he has a book called The Universe from Nothing.
I have not.
And his whole premise, and I'm probably going to say this wrong again, is that the reason that's a false premise, like a lot of religious people say, like how does everything come from nothing?
Yeah.
Is what is the principle of nothing? Nothing is still something.
Right.
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 What does it mean to be nothing?
Right.
And he goes in this whole thing that like I'm gonna say this wrong, but basically that even nothing is still something.
Well, did you get that? What the explanation was there?
Yeah, I get what you were trying.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, probably a lot of it still went over my head, but
it makes sense that the two distances are simultaneously so far apart.
Right.
But also because there's no actual energy in them.
Right.
There's no particles anymore left over.
Right.
But they're also not far apart.
But then what? So then if it's so then I guess what's the definition of nothing then? Because then can you measure the two?
No, because it's like what would happen? I think.
Right.
Because everything is there's nothing left. It's the entropy has led to no more molecules or particles in anything.
But when you say something is so far apart,
but also so once there's no space because they ran out of particles.
Right.
So it's like they've disintegrated to nothing.
Right.
But there's still something.
Yeah, there's still something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then because there's still no space or no real thing taking up that space.
Right.
Because the particle is disintegrated.
Right.
Into something.
Right.
But there's no space now.
Right.
There's no space. There's no time.
Right.
So it never really just resets.
We're stupid. That's interesting shit. To
I think
about.
I think that logically doesn't make sense. But because it's kind of like the old argument, the shitty argument that I think maybe died around the 90s was that there is no answer. It's just that maybe that was.
Oh yeah, where it was just like the Big Bang was the first thing, right?
Not that it was the first thing, is that it created physics. There was no time before that, so what was before the Big Bang is not a real question.
Right.
Because time started
at the Big Bang.
So that's weird. The question doesn't make a sense to say what was before.
Yeah.
Because it was not that there was nothing before. It just wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah. And what you're defining is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the answer, you can't say anything. You're just like, it's a non-question.
Yeah.
It's what was before time.
Yeah.
Well, the time wasn't relevant because time didn't exist, so there didn't have to be a before.
Yeah.
Time before time is something we can't wrap our heads around because we're just not built that way. We only built to see the world through linear time. We're not even built to see it through 40 time.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you see
the different dimensions.
5D.
Yeah,
so time 4D is time.
The one we
5D
see.
is where you see all time at once.
Right. Yeah, where you can pretty much, if you could view it, you could view time from that.
Yeah, the analogy is like, so it's like a 2D creature seeing 3D.
Right.
Only sees slivers.
Right.
Right, of your body. Like, you can't really understand what you are as a person.
Right.
Because it understands everything as slivers.
Right.
It's kind of like also asking like, how does a blind person see objects?
Right.
Well, they don't. They don't understand objects. They don't understand distance. They don't understand seeing something far away. They don't understand how that works.
Right.
Perceptually.
Yeah.
They can't imagine it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You're just missing a
sense.
sense.
That shit's so, like, I think about that stuff all the time, man.
It bothers me, and I remember when I first took philosophy, it would fuck me up. Like, it gave me so much anxiety because it's just so weird.
Oh, man.
Everything.
Death is just, like, death and, like, what does it mean to be alive and what does it mean not to be alive is, like, fucking mind-blowing. That's why people love religion so much, because it gives answers.
It doesn't, though. So I was thinking about this.
No, but it doesn't really, I know that. But
did I tell you about this? Where... What was I? Oh, so I wrote a short story about the Grim Reaper and the Angel of Life. Right. They sit down and have coffee to discuss what happens when we die. Right. What's other than this? Like, we know what happens when someone, like, when a human dies. Right. But we don't really know what happens. We just kind of take the soul of the body and they just float away. Right. But what happens for us? We've only known this. Yeah. What the hell's going on? Right. And then you kind of discuss it. And the whole premise is, well, they don't find any real answers. Right. There are no real answers to anything. Right. Even if God exists, it doesn't give me answers. No. That gives me more questions.
Yeah, I'd be like, where did he come from?
Yeah. Or like, what are we doing? We just live forever? Yeah. What's before forever? It doesn't answer any questions at all. Yeah. How did you make the Big Bang? What are you? It's science is tasked with answering questions. Mm-hmm. But inevitably what happens when you answer questions or more questions.
Well, of course.
There's an infinite span of questions. It's just going to keep going.
Well, that's why there's absolute truth and there's truths, right? Like, science answers truths for us. What's truth right now? Yeah. We're never going to get that absolute truth because we're just going to always learn something more. And there's going to be a more question. Where's that go? Right? Which is just like, so it's, but like, I mean, religion is just a quick, easy answer for people. They're just like, well, there's something that lives forever.
It just gives you an answer to one question, but
it gives you one answer that people care about.
And so you stop answering more questions, and you seem satisfied.
Well, because you don't care. Because I get to live forever.
Probably because you were never concerned with actually answering the question. You're only concerned with your own anxiety about the question. Yeah, that's the only really thing you're concerned about.
What do really people care about? They don't want to die, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're concerned about their anxiety.
They don't want to die, right? So whatever gives them that answer is what they care about.
Yeah. See, I almost find these kind of discussions way more interesting than politics.
Oh, 100%.
Politics. Do you want to get into politics?
Well, we should, so we stay trending.
Because we're already 54 minutes in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, let's do our hot topics.
Yeah, hot topics.
Yeah.
This is more interesting to do though. We get through some actual.
So what do you want to do? What do you want to cover?
Hot topic: vanilla Coke or Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper. That's an easy one.
It is easy.
Yeah.
23 flavors. Get out of here, vanilla Coke.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, really? And you're just repeating the same flavors.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking you from flavor 1 and flavor 23. We know those fucking taste the
They're
same.
all good.
Yeah. They're all the same. It's like Fruit Loops. They all taste the same.
Yeah, but they're all really good. Dr. Pepper, bomb. That's the 23 flavors.
Huh?
Not vanilla Coke.
Fuck vanilla.
Dr. Pepper is 23 flavors.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to let you go with this.
I was talking,
I didn't confirm that you know.
I was talking about the 20 different types of Coke.
No.
They all taste the
There's
same.
23 a blend
ingredients
of 23
or something like
23 ingredients or something.
Yeah,
blend
yeah,
of
yeah,
23 flavors. I don't know.
I know cinnamon's one.
Yeah. And Dr. Pepper. Oh, you know?
I know it's cinnamon.
We'll track down all 22 now. That'll be the mission.
Yeah. Now let's figure out how to get caramel in the
Okay.
caramel bar.
What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about LeBron James selling out? Or do you want to talk about transgender athletes?
Let's do both. Let's start with
both?
LeBron. Yeah, let's start with LeBron.
All right.
So
you know what's interesting? Oh, you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Because I love LeBron,
Yeah.
and I didn't care too much about the Hong Kong protesters.
Right.
Generally, I want to, as we said many times, for dictatorships.
Right.
I usually side with the people.
Right.
Now, I didn't really make any judgments either way. I just said I
Right.
didn't understand why Canadians feel so,
Right.
feel a certain way about Hong Kong, and they back Hong Kong
Right.
when they. That's all I was really making. But it's interesting because I love LeBron, and I didn't really have an opinion either way.
Right.
But LeBron saying that makes me want to back Hong Kong, and I love LeBron. It's very strange because it just seems so stupid.
It was such a bad. He could have made whatever point he wanted. It was literally how he presented it was so terrible.
Yeah.
So terrible.
I think the exact words were uneducated.
Uneducated.
And he says and something. Uneducated and ignorant.
Well, something about it being irresponsible.
Irresponsible and uneducated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just like,
but
we all know that every NBA player, especially LeBron James, has a bottom dollar.
Yeah.
Ish, like going on with China.
Yeah.
So we know that if China were to fall, LeBron loses some money.
Shout out China.
We know LeBron loses some money.
Yeah.
So we know he has that motive.
Yeah, but he has so much money, so it's such a selling out for when you.
Yeah, but he probably has deal. He's trying to build something. He wants to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's halfway there. So he has like a goal that he wants to be a billionaire.
Right.
China's a big market for the NBA.
Right.
Big market for the NBA.
Yeah.
Now,
10% it represents, which
what
is not
bothers
that big.
me, right?
That's what I'm surprised about. It's only 10%. It's not crazy.
No, but they're trying to grow it, right? So if you're LeBron James,
but they already get paid such a stupid amount of money.
Yeah,
like they're the highest paid athlete. Of any sport.
Right. But it's.
Well, yeah. I mean, you agree it's stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's stupid. Like I said, you give me $1 million, I can make that last a long fucking time, right? But what bothers me about this whole LeBron thing is the hypocrisy of it all.
Yeah.
You're so into like I think he even had a quote that was like, injustice anywhere is injustice here, or something like that, some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Except when it fucks up your bottom dollar.
Yeah.
So I found that because I don't even care what your opinion is.
No.
If you're like work for the NBA and you're trying to make deals for China, yeah, I can understand why China's like, why the fuck you talking shit about me when you want to deal with me?
Yeah, because I get it. It's interesting because we separate government and capitalism. Those are separate. Corporations and government's separate.
Yeah.
But China is a corporation.
Right.
So it is like a staff. So this is my only opposition where I see what LeBron or other people are saying.
No, I totally get what they're saying.
Because China's not a natural government, so it's not like free speech against your government.
Right.
It's China's a corporation.
Right.
Running a country.
Right.
So it's like saying something negative about a corporation.
Right.
It's going to lose business.
And really,
it's bad for business.
And this is literally what the point is. The point is that, like, if we're going to talk about the other side, and then we could talk about why everything's problematic. But, okay, if the NBA decides they want to deal with China.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As a business.
Yeah.
As two businesses.
Yeah.
right?
Which is what it is.
You don't talk shit about me if you're trying to deal with me.
Yeah.
So I get why the NBA is like, fuck that, the Rockets GM, like, shut the fuck up, don't do that.
Yeah.
We're doing business, right? So I get that part, and I get that they're trying to be careful. The other side is that it's the hypocrisy.
Yes, the hypocrisy.
Right.
And that's really, you have to side on the hypocrisy.
Right.
Because it's like, I get why you're doing that.
Right.
But then you can't.
But then, you know what? Next time you want to talk about an injustice, it's going to lose some standing.
LeBron was a poster boy.
Yeah.
He was the poster boy. He was number 100%.
You were the fucking poster boy for that shit, and you sold out.
In NBA 2020, I think, or 2019, he has a cutscene where he talks about being a representation of the people. A cutscene.
Yeah. So like, and he'll argue like it's like he's talking about here, whatever. Like, but that's some bullshit.
He's like, I wasn't talking about the substance of his tweets.
Right.
I was just talking about the action and like taking that action.
But you could have said that in a way. You could have said it way differently than you
did. You know Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, from First Take.
Yeah, he is so LeBron.
Or not First Take.
I don't know.
Sharp and he does it with Skip Bayless, whatever the Fox one is.
But I never watch it, but I know that I see clips all the time.
Yeah.
And I watch clips because he's usually like super pro LeBron. Mm-hmm. He is taking it to LeBron. He is like, man, just take your L, apologize.
It was such a bad. You could have made his exact point 100 times better.
Easy.
It was so weird to see him go on a rant.
I think when he just dug his grave is when he threw out uneducated, and then he was asked about his opinion. He's like, I ain't in politics.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, we're not about it's like
so I don't have opinions.
About everything. Like, yeah.
Then you don't say you. So I think that's why I brought up Shannon Sharp, because he said if you're uneducated about a subject, you can't tell somebody else they're uneducated about a subject.
Right.
That's the baseline to saying you're uneducated is you have to be educated to make that call.
Yeah, 100%. And it was like it was the words he used. It's like uneducated.
Yeah.
Why you, because he has that opinion, you think he's uneducated about it?
And it's crazy because he's a GM.
He's clearly paying attention.
He's the GM of the Houston Rockets.
Right. Who make a big deal over there. They have big shit over there.
That's the biggest team in China. The number one team in China. He made a decision.
Yeah.
He made an educated decision.
Sure.
Because he's the GM.
Right.
To hurt his own team.
Right.
To say something he believes in.
Right.
He didn't just tweet that. There's no way. There's no way he just went, I'm just going to tweet something about China, our biggest team. It probably not going to happen. It'll be fine.
It was just, but like I said, like if we go back, like I get why the NBA was kind of like, sorry.
I get why the NBA, right?
As a corporation.
Right. I get that.
Right.
But I like that they didn't do anything about it.
No, I like that they said they're always going to support.
Respect. As a corporation, they're going to say, whoa, don't mess up our business.
Yeah.
Legit.
But we support free speech.
But we support what you're doing. We're just maybe take it easy.
Yeah.
But LeBron, you ain't no corporation.
Yeah.
You're nobody.
Yeah.
You don't say shit.
And it was the things he said. Uneducated. Irresponsible.
Yeah. Because now you're so see-through. You're just hurting your wallet.
You made yourself look so
bad.
Stupid.
Well, because you made yourself look like a sellout.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You made yourself just look 100% of self.
Even if that's not what you meant, that's what you did.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you
100%.
meant.
It doesn't matter. No.
Even though we always talk about nuance and
trying to intention. Yeah. No, but like it was like what was irresponsible. The most irresponsible thing about this whole China thing was fucking LeBron's comments.
No, yeah, because here's the thing. So we do talk about nuance and intention.
Yeah.
But his intention doesn't matter what he said, because his intention was to save his wallet.
Yeah.
We know what his intention is.
We know what your intention was. So don't try to bullshit
your way. What your intention is what you're saying. I don't care what you're saying.
Exactly.
I can see through what you're saying and know your intention is to save your money.
Because people lie about their intention.
Yeah.
So I can't just go by with what you're saying.
Right.
I can literally look at what you're saying and come to a conclusion about what your intention was.
Yeah.
Right?
We're sowing our own seeds for the future. We're going to put something racist you say and in that clip beside each other.
Yeah. Shout out racist.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fuck racist.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think that's pretty much all we're going to say on that. That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
LeBron sold out.
Yeah, we 100% agree. I was a little worried. I was like, I wonder what the LeBron lover was going to say about this. But
it's weird because, like I said, I didn't care either way for Hong Kong stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like them to have their democracy if that's possible. But like as you said, it's probably not possible. So I don't know what the solution really is.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do.
But
technically, you're
Yeah,
China owns
but
him, so
LeBron fucking up so badly and being like so pro his wallet makes me go, I side with Hong Kong a little bit more.
Yeah. Like, but the fucking weird thing about this whole thing is that this whole story was dying.
Yeah,
it was dying down.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden LeBron had to say that.
To
what
probably
the fuck?
It's his second worst decision.
Shout out decision.
Yeah. Pun intended. Pun intended. Yeah.
What a terrible decision that was.
He ruined his legacy. I think he does.
No, honestly, this was his worst decision.
Yeah.
Was this one?
And he has to win. He has to win a chip this.
Oh,
season.
If he doesn't win, well,
that's done. Sorry, you can make it up because success can get rid of flaws.
Oh yeah.
So if he wins
100%,
he wins a championship. Well, forget about it.
We'll forget about it.
But if he doesn't, nail in the coffin.
MJ #1, motherfucker.
Oh, I agree. USA.
Yeah. But like, it's just fucking like, it was literally the comment. It was like, I don't even care if your bottom dollar is your #1, and you wanted to like stay out of it, and like you care about. That's cool.
You could have said it from a financial business standpoint.
Yeah.
You could have just said it like very.
Pull the Steve Kerr, just be like, I don't really know much.
Sidestepping the whole thing. You're sidestepping it to kind of be like you're uneducated on the situation.
You made it so obvious what your intention was.
Uneducated on your wallet is what he was.
Yeah.
Which he's not. He considered it.
I'm sure he did. What a fuck. Well, transgender athletes. This is a hot topic.
Well, because I think.
So this is interesting. This is really interesting because I want to clarify one thing before we talk about this.
Yeah, you give your full opinion because I have an idea of what it is.
Right.
And I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. So no, but I think I have a very nuanced position on this. Right? Okay. So
we may have the same position. I don't know.
Yeah. So like. One thing, because we're going to talk about science, we're going to talk about gender and sex and stuff like that. So one thing that I want to make clear that I think the right really fails on this, if we're going to talk about politics, okay, that the left is trying to figure out a good way to do this, is that there are going to be unfortunate things we learn about science that are inconvenient. Yeah. Right?
Sure.
Right? Sure. That will be true. Sure. But that should never change or should never be implemented into like politics or laws. Mm-hmm. Or anything that takes away somebody's freedom, right? Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, because we still have to account for the fact that there are people who are identifying a certain way, and it's manifesting itself that way. So we have to accept that there's something going on, regardless if we're going to look at like social sciences or biology, or whatever we're looking at to figure this out, right? So that's where the right's really failing on this.
Yeah, just be like, there's only two genders and all this stuff. It's like, well, no, you're ignoring the whole, the fact that it's happening.
Right. Now, so that's where the right really fails on this thing. Sure. Because like they're not noticing that it's actually manifesting itself.
You're prefacing with some background on transgenderism in general.
Yeah. Because then the only reason, and then I'll go in why it only matters in sports right now. Why this is an issue. Sure. Where the left I think is failing is the acceptance fact, and this is like my opinion, is that I do understand sex and gender are different things. Yep. Okay. Sure. We can accept that. I think they're failing on that. They're not realizing how correlated the two are. Right?
Generally.
Yeah, generally. It's pretty correlated.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Which manifests itself in sports quite a bit.
Sure.
Right? When we're separating it. So that's why it's going to be an issue, right? So that's where I think the left is failing about it. To have an honest conversation about it. Yeah. The only reason this is even a topic is because our society has differentiated or
delineated.
Yeah,
delineated.
Sports, male and female.
Right.
Right.
For probably good reason.
For good reasons, right? Yeah. So biological reasons why we separate the two. Right? Yeah. One thing that's like big. So for sure, like we're gonna agree on this. The biggest victim in all this stuff is the transgender people. Yeah. Right. Like this. Like, regardless of where you fall on this.
They're in a very tough spot.
They're in a very tough spot because one, let's just say, like what the left is doing with it is being too willy-nilly about it. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes they're giving something to them that eventually society is going to have to take away, which is painful and it sucks. Right. And so they maybe shouldn't have gotten in the first place, right? Right. Like if we're talking about sports. Right. And then obviously like the issues on the right is pretty obvious, like denial and like just not understanding that
their human
something
rights.
is going on, because the fact that it's manifesting this way is clearly there's something going on that we have to look at, right? So the fact that you care so much about this is stupid.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to sports, sports to me is very, like, it's physical.
Not all of them, but yeah,
it's physical. That's why there's a separation, right? That's why it's separation, right?
It's physical,
even if you want to talk
about...
you
meant contact.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't just mean contact. I just mean, like...
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Got you. The unfortunate truth
Yeah.
is that there is a difference between the sexes within that.
Sure.
Right? And the fact that the correlation with gender and sex is always going to be there. So, like, it's not an accident that a transgender woman is breaking the weightlifting records in the women's category. Right? Now, what the answer is? Are we going to redefine what it, like what the categories are? Maybe I don't know what the answer is to fix this. It's a small minority of people.
Or you get another camera shot.
Yeah, don't kill me for this.
Yeah.
This is just again thinking out loud, right? As the way like sports is currently constructed, I feel like sometimes we have to accept the unfortunate part of our biology, right? So like if I take like a less severe, and I'm not trying to compare trans and like being short,
right?
But like if I'm really short, the unfortunate part about my biology is I'm probably not going to be a basketball player. That's the unfortunate part of my biology, right? Sometimes we're forgetting the fact that we have to accept the fact that there's going to be people better at things. They're born better. LeBron James is... I could work as hard as I want. I'm never going to be LeBron James.
Right.
His genetics actually matters. Right? We have to accept some of that stuff. And I don't think the left is doing that very well.
Well, it's interesting, though, because at the same time, you could use the same argument for why a trans woman who's breaking weightlifting records should be allowed to break those weightlifting records. That same argument still applies.
No,
she was born with different genetics that gave her an advantage.
Right, but how are you... No, because how are you categorizing this? Because our separation from male and female... Right? The correlation between sex and gender is there.
Right.
Okay, we know what we mean by male and female.
Right.
Okay?
Well, we know what we mean by one of those, but we are not sure if it's a correlation only gender or only sex, or is it both sex and gender?
To me, it's both. Like, because most of the there's obviously aberrations.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not talking about aberrations.
Right.
We're talking about if we categorize something, right? Like we categorize human beings or apes as five-fingered. There are people who are not born with five fingers.
Right.
We're not going to change our definition.
We're not changing the definition. We're changing
the scope
where we allow in a
scope
in the two separate groups.
Right.
You have to. Okay, let's first agree on some premise.
Okay, yeah.
One premise.
Yeah.
Do you agree that you have to separate them, so a transgender athlete, into one of those categories? There's not enough transgender athletes to have a third category.
Right, for sure.
Sorry.
So right.
Okay, so the only thing now you're going to discuss
is which category.
100%.
That's what we agree on.
Right.
100%.
So I think it's a very tough decision.
It is a tough decision.
And I think it doesn't have to be a single decision. And I think no sport is. So I don't know why it would have to be. So I think for someone who's a good example,
I think it does have to be a single decision.
I don't think it does, because someone like Joe Rogan,
right?
He loves talking about a sweeping decision,
right?
About the
male female,
yeah,
right?
About trans women should be in the male category,
right?
In everything,
right?
Or at least it sounds like I may be missummarizing his argument, but generally it seems to me that he's saying in every category. But governing bodies of sports do not work that way. They have their own specific rules for every single sport.
They have their specific rules for every single sport, but they all have the same category. It would be too hard to distinguish, decide on every single sport how you're going to do that because here's an interesting.
It wouldn't be too hard because it's not one person. It's the body. It's the sport's body. Every sport has a governing body that makes decisions.
No, but
I mean, not even every sport. Every league.
But there's still there's more differences to male and female than just muscle.
Right.
There's other differences, right?
Right.
That don't just account for physical.
Sure.
Right. So
your argument then is trans women should be in the male category. As a sweeping judgment.
I think because it's just the advantage level, right? Because like if we look at the other way around, female to male, they don't have an advantage. So like, should I say that they shouldn't join male? Because you're not at an advantage. Maybe you should be allowed, but then it wouldn't be fair, right? Which is the problem. But it's just the advantage that I don't know how to overcome. So right now, my opinion would just be.
You know what's interesting?
What's that?
Is that so here's an interesting. Whenever you have discussion, almost everyone always talks about trans women.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
It's because of the advantage.
Right. So if you were to trans women have to say in the male category.
Because the only reason we're talking about this is sports. There's not there's little issues bathroom and shit like that, but for the most part, this wouldn't be as big of an issue. It's because it's manifesting itself in sports, which means there's an advantage between the sexes.
Right.
And that's why it's such a big topic.
Yeah. So what is the difference of the unfair advantage? Right.
Right.
Unfair.
Right.
I'm not educated enough on the science of how unfair.
Right.
Because there should be like a percentage, like say 10% unfair is allowable. You know what I mean?
Well,
because everyone has certain distinctions.
Right.
So there's clearly some kind of allowable distance of unfair.
Well,
for example, taking testosterone, that's too big of an advantage. That's unfair.
Right. Well, there's that girl that's born with the runner who they're trying to ban, right? So she's a female, but she's born with male.
Right, and that's a single body made a decision.
Right. Now I'm in the favor of she should be allowed to run. She's just born.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so.
Like this is not the same
That's
thing.
like a natural occurring advantage that we all have.
Because this is, and this will actually get to the heart of this issue. Okay, so the science on we know that trans is we know it's a real thing, or at least all of our liberal people, we know it's a real thing. Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a single marker for us to look at to know who is trans and who's not. Right. So this is the big thing, right?
You mean genetically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any marker besides you saying so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the other part is how do we know, like when we're like right now it's easy to distinguish male and female sex.
Yeah.
Right? So when we make these categories, where's the marker to know if somebody's trans or not?
Right.
Right? We don't know what that marker is.
Right.
Right? Other than you just saying that. Right? And we do know that there's an advantage if you spend 25 years of your life not on some kind of like hormone, right? And you're just building muscle tone as a man, you're going to have advantage when you enter women's sports.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, again, we don't know how to distinguish, say, like I do find it very interesting, like some of the trans women who enter sports, like there's one example.
What's the rule generally? Is generally trans women are looked at as women in sports? Generally, right now?
Not in all sports. In some, like in some there are.
Yeah.
Right. So and I think it depends on country too. Like there's, I heard a story of a trans woman who lived most of her life as a man, right? Played basketball at like a college level.
Yeah.
And I can't verify where this was. Now, when you leave college, you can't re-enter college and then play again. Right. You're not allowed to do that. Left college. He was like average, not great.
Yeah.
Left college, came back as a woman.
Trans woman?
Yes.
Oh,
as a trans woman, came back
Okay.
and joined women's and dominated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
what do you know? Do you know the details of the story? Was like he
was huge. She was huge. Sorry.
Yeah.
She was huge. Now,
But had she transitioned for a while? Had she been transitioned for a while, or is it?
But that's the argument. So the argument is that even if you start if you reach puberty as a man, right? And let's just say you go to like 25, you've spent all that time building that muscle. So even if you go on hormone depressants now, you've still spent so much time building muscle mass as a man that you're going to be at an advantage. Because a lot, like the weightlifter who broke the records, I'm pretty sure, is on some kind of hormone now. still strong as fuck because spent all that time building that muscle mass as a man. Now, I don't know how. One thing I don't know how to do is I don't know how you decide. Because where is this, like, and if we're going to get out of sports, where does this leak? Because one thing I think we need before we decide where they go is the marker. Right? It can't just be you say it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right.
It
So
can't be if you say it.
You can't just say it.
I think it would be a case by case basis for sports.
Right.
I think clearly there's some
it might be.
I don't think it's
might
big as a deal as others. I mean, something like MMA, I think is a little bigger deal because your life's on the line.
Right.
And that's why testosterone's so important.
Right.
Though I find it a little disingenuous sometimes when. So the biggest person I've ever heard talk about this is Joe Rogan for sure.
Right.
He's the only person really I've heard talk about it.
I've heard
mainly.
Yeah, I've listened.
Mainly.
Like I've looked into it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in it. Yeah.
But it's interesting because he talks about it like people's lives are on the line.
Right.
Right. But I don't hear the same outcry for someone like Mark Hunt, who fought 4 guys in a row who are on testosterone.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No. 100%.
So somewhat I feel like it's disingenuous or is thinly.
Right. But then you got to take your own advice on the whole Obama effect, right? Just because it's wrong there doesn't mean it can be right here.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's still like there is a hypocrisy there.
Yeah.
But it's still an issue.
Yeah.
And maybe we're just noticing it now because there's a clear. But I think one thing we have to do is there's got to be some kind of marker. Because if this is going to be a thing, and this is how we're going to mass affect, and we're going to start changing the scope of gender and sex and whatnot, we need to be able to mark it. It can't like.
But what if there just isn't one? It's like hard. A lot of mental disorders there's not one.
Yeah, because exactly, and I don't know could you tell me what does it mean to feel like a man? Can you tell me what that feeling is?
No.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know what. So I can't even experience that.
To be a bat?
Yeah, like I don't know what that means. Like what it so.
It's a philosophical idea where you can't know what it's like to be, because I can't know what it's even like to be you.
Right. No, for sure.
I would only know what it's like to be you.
But you know what it's like to be a man because you are a man. But
I don't really know what it's like to be a man. I know what it's like to be me.
That's what I mean. So then the question is when I'm thinking about it is like, okay, so because this again, if we're gonna talk about left, because we don't even need to talk about the right, they're just too stupid on this issue. Where again, I think the left is feeling is that they're playing both ends of the stick here. So one, they want to talk about, well, gender is just an expression. It's so fluid, you can go in and out of everything, right? But then they'll also be very trans activists, right? So what does it mean to be trans? What trans is that you're born on a body, but then you feel a different way. What does it mean to feel a different way? That means there's a difference between male and female that they're feeling. So you're acknowledging that there's a difference, but then you're pretending that there's this peaks and valleys or whatever, right? So it's if we're accepting that transgenderism is the real thing, which we are, that they mean there is a difference that they're finding, right? Yeah, there's a difference there.
Yeah.
That they're showing.
They're feeling a dysmorphia in their own body.
Right.
Like they want to feel a different thing it is, which is
literally acknowledging there's a difference.
Yeah.
Right? Because then what does it mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're acknowledging that, you have to acknowledge that there's a correlation between sex and gender. There has to be one. The biology matters because they're showing that.
Yeah.
Transgenders are showing that that's a thing.
Generally.
Right.
There generally is a correlation.
Right.
And there currently is not one.
Right.
And that's why you have gender dysmorphia.
Right.
Because your sex and gender are not correlated.
Right.
And that's.
Right. But they're showing there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
Right. So but they want to play both ends on that, right? So that's the issue that we're running into right now, is that they're talking like, I think one of the other issues that came up is like, and I think Biden talked about it, that if somebody identified as a woman and they were going to jail, they should be put into jail with other women.
Yeah.
I think I heard Biden talk about this when he visited a thing. Now, again, what does it mean to feel like a woman? And what is the marker for that? So somebody says that and they can just go do that? Like I think isn't there...
To me, that sounds... I would say, yeah. I'd be okay with... If you identify as a woman, you'd go to a woman's prison.
So then how do you... Because it's...
For a prison, I don't know. That seems like an easy issue.
I don't know if that's an easy issue. Like, are you okay with men or transgender? You just said you're not okay with MMA, like fighters. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fighting and shit that happens in jail.
Yeah. I don't know.
And and again, I don't know the answer to it. Like, I'm just like speaking out loud, but this is the stuff that I think about, and I think that, again, the side that I'm on the liberal left side, where there's definitely something manifesting here that we have to talk about. But it's hard to have even this conversation because the same side is talking on both ends of the stick, and I'm generally going to err on the side of like, I know transgenderism is a real thing. I don't know about non-binary and all that. Yeah, that's I know transgenderism, and they're literally showing me that there is a difference because they feel it. Yeah. Right? So there is a difference, and we have to acknowledge that there is a difference.
Yeah, sure. Right? Sure. Yeah, on the sports side,
right.
I err on it's rare.
It's a rare
extremely
thing.
Rare.
Yeah, right.
I can't have strong opinions about rare things.
Right.
I'll leave it up, I don't know, as a man.
Right.
I'm not playing sports with women.
Right.
I don't need to make a decision.
Right.
It's silly for me to make a decision about women's sports for women.
Well, no, I don't think that's fair.
I think it's silly because they can make a decision. That's why I'm saying the governing body of each specific sports makes their own decision.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it.
Because I think it is different for sports.
Right. But you can have an opinion.
Yeah.
It's like having an opinion on abortion. I'm gonna have an opinion.
It's silly for me to have a deciding opinion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna lead now.
My opinion is that I don't have an opinion. I think they should choose in each sport, and it should vary.
Yeah, but you do have an opinion. I
generally don't know what the right answer. No, I don't really have an opinion because I'm not sure what the right answer is.
Right, but if the governing body said, okay, we're gonna let trans women fight women, I think they have the right to make that decision. But I could definitely think the decision's wrong.
Yeah. I don't know if it would. Yes, for me, I'm not sure if it would be wrong. I think it because I'm not sure about the real science on it and what advantage that is and how big of an advantage. Because here's the thing: for women's MMA, I've seen videos where a trans woman demolishes, but I've also seen videos where a woman demolishes another woman. That just happens. That happens all the time, actually. In fact, I was talking about this weekend. In women's MMA, it's very strange. There's like a top 5.
Right.
And it's like top 5, and then number 6 gets demolished by all top 5. It's like there's a steep drop off in women's MMA. That's just ridiculous. And so that's like it's not a. No. It's like no, but if you're coming out from an angle of women are going to get demolished, and then you see it happen, well, you just confirmed your bias of that happening. It doesn't mean she demolished her because she's a woman. It could mean she demolished her because she's a better MMA fighter.
Sure.
Right. So
that's possible, but we also know too much about the differences between men and women physically.
Yes, but I think your error there is that's not a man.
Okay,
that's a man. Okay, so on who's transitioning and she's on drugs. Right. That does affect because we agreed that testosterone gives you an advantage. So she has limited testosterone, unlike a man.
But she spent a certain amount of time building that.
Sure.
Yeah. So that gives her an advantage.
You can't compare her to a man because she's also not a man.
Okay, but
even biologically, she's reducing her testosterone. Chemically, she's reduced. Well,
biologically, if we're going to talk about biologic and man, I'm still pretty sure that the chromosomes still indicate.
Okay, no, but chemically, she's got a chemical makeup that is not like a man.
Right.
Like it's like saying
okay, but now we're just
no. It's like you're comparing a roided up man to. So do you know who Vitor Belfort is?
Yes.
So he used to look crazy.
Right.
And then TRT got banned.
Right.
And then he looks like he's blowing up weird. Like it's just like a crazy difference within like 3 years.
Yeah, but
so it's like comparing those two fighters and saying they're the same fighter.
No, it's not.
That's what it is, though.
No, but you're picking and choosing what you're defining as like now it's so you're just defining man as whatever their chemical basis is.
No. What I'm saying is you're saying you're comparing a trans woman to a man, and I'm saying well they're not quite men either.
No,
they don't have the same.
Oh, hold on a sec. That's the girlfriend. We're gonna finish this because this is interesting.
Yeah.
She might actually.
Well, we're at like 1:28 anyway. Okay. minutes away.
There's something we need to flesh out here.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Where was that last statement?
Well, you kept saying trans women have the same biology as men.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Right.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that a trans woman had the benefits of being a man.
Right.
At that point that they were met before they took it. There's benefits to that.
Well, let me actually ask you this. Would you agree, because you're worried about advantages?
Yes, I'm worried about advantages.
Would you not agree that they have a very marked disadvantage in men's sports? Because they have very lower testosterone. They have much lower
if they're going to
testosterone.
start to transition, then yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they will.
So that's why my question is, or my answer is,
I
don't know
where
to place them.
We're both in
even
that.
in MMA, though. Even in MMA.
Right.
They would have a marked disadvantage.
But I think I'm okay with erring on the fact that you have a disadvantage. Like I said, because nobody talks about female to male because there's not an advantage there. Right.
Yeah.
So physically, I'm not trying to say
Yeah.
So nobody talks about that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no advantage there. So we're just talking about the unfair advantage that somebody might have.
Right.
Now again, when we say unfair, if we're going to get into that, what is unfair and what not?
That's why I'm more into science, and I don't really know the real answer because I don't know what level of advantage they have, and that's what my main point was. It's like it's not comparing it to men because they're also not men. It's like comparing. So that's why I use the example of Vitor Belfort on TRT and Vitor Belfort not on TRT. It's like comparing those two. They're not quite. In the same category
you keep saying that they're not quite men, and it depends on how you're defining that.
Right.
Right. Because, like I said.
I mean,
I view gender and sex.
Well, I'll define it.
Right.
You'd have to agree.
Sure.
Generally, because remember the 5-finger thing.
Right.
Generally, because this is your definition.
Right.
What's generally a man? Generally, a man has a certain level of testosterone.
No.
Right.
That's not what I'm defining a man.
No, but using your 5 fingers analogy, generally men have a certain level of testosterone.
No. The reason I brought up the 5-finger thing is about definitions.
I know. So by definition, that's what I'm saying. Generally, by definition, men have a certain level of testosterone in their body.
But you're okay. But you're just that's like your definition of man in sports. Like your definition of man in general is probably how they reproduce.
Well, no, I think it would include a level of testosterone. Perhaps testosterone is greater than estrogen.
Right, but
would be a definition of men biologically, scientifically.
Well, no, the chromosomes would be.
No, there'd be a lot of different ones.
I think the chromosomes is the biological marker, though. I think I could be wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's definitely like I guess
different combinations too.
I guess like we're just getting in an argument of what it is to be a man.
Yeah. And I'm not sure actually it is somewhat relevant, but like.
Well, that's what we're getting stuck on, really, because I think we agree for the most part that we both. I don't know what the answer is, right? Like, I don't think it can just be, male is male, female is male, because again, there's something that's manifesting itself that we have to deal with, right? And one thing that people need to be clear is that whatever we learn about science and whatever we learn about truths, that can never take away somebody's freedom to do what they want. Right. So that's what we have to deal with, no matter what it is that we learn.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just talking about the advantage that a trans woman might have in a currently constructed, the way that we currently construct sports.
Right.
Is that it seems to be that there's an advantage.
Right.
Is what I think we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
My thought would be, it doesn't happen very often. It's very tough to go through that. Yeah. So it's like some advantage. Dude, it's not much advantage. Don't they have like... Right, so I'd still leave it up to the governing body. So it's like I don't think it's a clear advantage.
I know, but I can give you points of reference where it is a clear advantage. Like there's a professional volleyball player, and I think this was Brazil.
See, these are specific examples. Now I can give you specific examples where there's men have clear advantages over other men. Right. It doesn't mean
right.
Yeah.
But the one thing we accept on that, because we obviously when we make these categories, we made a very simple category, and that's why it's an issue right now. Female, male. Right. We do have to expect that there's biological variances within that. Right. But the only way we're categorizing is male and female.
Right.
So we can't talk about the advantages that certain men have on other men because we're not categorizing it that way.
Right.
We're only categorizing it this way. Right. So, like if we're really going to get into that, then the NBA, everybody has to be a certain height, right? Like, that's why we leave it at just sex, right? But who fuck knows? That's a good time. That's an interesting. Well, I think that's it, though, right? We made it. That's it.
We made it.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I think it was an eclectic one. That
was a very interesting one. Yeah. I think that was a good one.
Yeah. Less jokes, more science.
Yeah. I think so. All right, we're signing out.
Yeah.